video back with another Black Excellent video. My today's guest, I have William Hicks on with me here to discuss H.R.E, which is Hicks Real Estate.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, and we just gonna touch bases on how you got started, what influenced you, just basic questions. So before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell a friend, tell another friend. Let's see, Mr. William. So introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, all that good stuff.
First, my name is William Hicks. Born and raised out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. I was a military brat. My dad was in the Navy, and then we moved to Illinois, and that's how I ended up living in Evanston and went to school at Evanston High School. Watching my dad do construction on the side, him and my uncle, I used to watch what they were doing, but I paid a lot of attention to what they were doing, but I hated to swing a hammer.
Okay.
So what they used to make us do is me and my best friend, Alex, he would make us, my dad and my uncle would make us take the demo to the truck and take it to the trash can. And that's the hardest part of the job. So they was using young kids.
Free labor.
No, it wasn't free. They were paying us $50 to $100 a job.
Really?
Yeah, they was giving us money to go to Marshall's. Marshall's and TJ Maxx. So we would go there and buy our $12.99 shirts, and we would have fresh clothes throughout the week. But that was like my first job, other than like McDonald's. I was watching my dad and uncle by them doing construction. However, the one thing that my father and uncle never did was they never understood how to operate a legitimate business and operate a company. And I've always told my dad that if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to turn our last name into a business and not just be out here doing work just because, what I'm saying? Everything has to have a purpose, and it has to be done the right way with morals and integrity and values. So, and with God first, by the way. So what I decided to do was, since out of I think we got 40 grandkids, and out of I think almost 20 something great grandkids on my side of the family, Hicks, me and my son and my other nephew or cousin are the only ones that can carry on the last name. Okay. So I said, I'm going to continue with the construction last name, Hicks Real Estate, which is now Hicks Foundation, the H.R.E. Foundation as of last week.
Oh, okay.
So now I am officially a nonprofit organization with the 501c3, and I've only been doing it for 45 days.
Yeah, I've seen that. And it's honestly and truthfully, you have done so much in 45 days. It's amazing. When
I became passionate about it, when you do something you love and you're happy about it, your work becomes a lot more easier. So I did go into the military, following after my father. But I went to the Army. Service. Yes, you're welcome. And I didn't go into the Navy, but I did go into the Army in 11th grade out of Evanston Township High School. And I went and I got deployed to Afghanistan at 19 years old.
Wow.
Right out of college. Right out of high school. So that woke me up. And then when I came back, actually, what woke me up was it was an African-American officer who said, when you guys get here, everybody pull your credit. Pull your credit reports. And we all put our credit reports at 19 and 20 years old. And when we pulled our credit reports, everybody, had different things in their credit report. And he said, when we leave a year from now, pull it again. Because everybody gets one free credit report a year.
Right.
And when everybody pulled their credit reports after that 1 year, we had a lot of people had family members was taking money. People had loans in their names they didn't know about.
Yes.
And it woke me up. And I said, credit is important.
Yes.
So then when I came back, I went to Hampton University. I was already at Norfolk State University in Virginia Beach. I got the phone call in my freshman year that I had to get deployed by January. So I had to stop going to school. And then I came back and became an officer in the United States Army.
Okay.
I went to Hampton for 2.5 years, was supposed to deploy again, then transferred to Northeastern Illinois University and finished up my commissioning through UIC and became a construction engineer in the Army. While I was a construction engineer in the Army in 2011, there was a major tornado that happened here in Birmingham, Alabama. So while I was away, my dad and my grandparents were affected by that tornado, and they found my grandmother and my grandfather in the middle of the woods. And my dad had to go find them on our family land in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back, my first duty station from after college was Birmingham. So what I did was I coordinated a plan to help rebuild tornado homes for victims that were affected by the tornado here in Birmingham. And then I was doing it as a reservist. I wasn't active duty. So I then became a LIHEAP energy, low income housing energy efficient program manager, and they provide grants to the low income families.
Okay.
So I then learned how to get grant money from the state, working for that organization. So then there was another position available in that company, and in that company, and I got a promotion to be the director of FEMA.
Oh wow! Okay.
So then I was making like $27,000, and I got a raise to $33,000. However, I was still a construction engineer as a second lieutenant in the Army, doing 1 week in a month.
Wow.
So on the weekends, I was coordinating rebuilding the neighborhoods in Birmingham to help tornado victims, but also serving as a FEMA director in another city.
Wow. Okay.
So you see how the two tied in together?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you see why H.R.E. Foundation is put together, because I can provide the same service because I've already worked in those positions.
Right. And that makes sense. And that makes a lot of sense. I know I was reading on your post that you, at first you said you had a different plan for the whole real estate, but you was talking to a family that changed your perspective on things. What was that perspective that, made you change your mind?
Okay. I've already flipped one property, and I've already had rental property. So the way I do marketing for my business, I do aggressive marketing. Mm-hmm. Aggressive marketing is something I learned, of course, over the years. Attention seeking.
Okay.
And it's a smart, strategic way I do it, because it creates content. However, what I do behind the scenes is what helps people.
Got you.
So
yeah. Makes sense.
Why it changed my perspective in life, because I'll give you an example. There are different rules in different cities, and I'm not going to tell the rules for this city, so I don't want nobody to try to take my idea.
Right.
There are rules in certain cities that when you own a property in a neighborhood, and there's another person that owns a property in a neighborhood who is improving their property, if the person next door cannot afford to do the repairs, the person that's doing the repairs can either buy their property because they can't afford it by going to the city and county to condemn their property because they're not improving the neighborhood. However, in low-income neighborhoods, when you have African-American people living in them, we're robbing from our people.
Right.
However, if you ever drive in low-income neighborhoods, you might see a sign that says, "We buy houses for cheap."
All the time. Yes. Yep.
Now you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
So what happens is those individuals, and so some of them are Black, will come to these neighborhoods, knock on doors. Hey, I'll give you $10,000, give me a house.
Yep.
However, as African Americans, if we don't understand what zoning means, if we don't understand what property value means, if we don't understand what appraisal value means, after repair value means, if we don't understand construction costs, if we don't understand square footage, contracting costs, they're coming and offering us money in our neighborhoods for 10 grand. But as African Americans, if we don't use money as a tool to make more money, we're going to blow it. I'm going to give you an example of my last rental property. All right. And I really don't like discussing correct numbers, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you because I think it's important. I was going to buy a property for roughly $9,000. When I pulled up to the property, one, my realtors didn't want to come. Why? Because they don't like coming to those neighborhoods.
Right.
Because they don't look like me.
Right.
Nor you.
Right.
So when I got to the neighborhood, I said, whoa, why is this a senior citizen selling me this property for so cheap? Why is there 3 other people in the house in wheelchairs? Something's not right about this. I said, because if I give you $9,000, you're not going to have nowhere else to go.
Not with 9 stacks.
No, it's not. $9,000, you're not going to have nowhere to go. And I asked her, I said, you know what? There's something deeper to this that I don't know about. So I took my military strategy because anytime you go to a third world country, you don't go and talk to the mayor and the president. You go talk to the village elders.
Right. Absolutely.
So I took my strategy for the military and bought turkeys for the neighborhood to figure out what was going on.
Smart.
So I bought, I think you saw it. I did a turkey drive,
right,
and I started having conversations with all the elders and senior citizens. And I had my I hate to call it my senior citizen, mama, take me through the neighborhood, because I call her mama now. I don't even look at her as a tenant.
Yeah.
Take me through the neighborhood to help me figure out what was going on. I said, okay, there's a problem over here, but I don't know what's going on. But then there's also city council members, and there's also people in position that look like me and not like me and you that are supposed to be doing this information. So I kept digging. Once I kept digging, I said, something is up, but I don't know. I came on a Sunday and she accepted my offer for $9,000. And I said, what? That don't make sense.
Right.
But when I pulled up at the house, she was crying. So I got a 70-something-year-old woman crying in front of me, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And that, in a Black community, is a little different when somebody's crying at that age.
Yes, it is.
And it was another African-American senior citizen in the neighborhood. And my realtor, I'm not going to release her name because she's still finding me property.
Right.
She was asking questions. Who lives in this house? Who lives in that house? Who lives in this house? Who lives in that house? And the other senior citizen in the neighborhood said, ma'am, you talk too much and you ask too many questions. You need to get up out of here. And I said, something's up.
Oh, man.
And it was from a Black senior citizen. So immediately what I did was I said, let's have a word of prayer. And I led everybody in prayer. And then I wrote my number down. And I broke realtor legal processes to figure out what was going on by providing information by my phone number to her to figure out what was going on. What's been happening is those we buy houses people coming in these neighborhoods, knocking on their door, offering them cash money, and these senior citizens are scared.
I can see that.
Because they don't get the information because nothing's coming in the newspaper no more. It's coming on the internet. Do you think senior citizens know how to use the internet?
Not at all. Rarely.
And now you see why I changed my perspective, because I said, hold on, it's a bigger need. So then what I did was I went back to the city and had a meeting with the senior citizen director.
Okay.
And I said, hey, there's a problem in my neighborhood. But if I buy this property, where am I going to put 3 people in wheelchairs at to do construction? And they said, we don't have nowhere to put them.
Wow.
Okay, problem number one. But they said we can provide resources. I said, well, I really don't want to do this. And really, if you don't have nowhere to put them, but they're living in uninhabitable conditions, if I give the property some value and make it livable for them so they can enjoy their home for the next however many more years they have left, and also improve the neighborhood, how can you help me? So that's where the foundation came in, because the city has a budget.
Yes, they do.
Every neighborhood.
Yes.
To do revitalization of the neighborhood.
Yes.
So now,
my mom that. Yep.
So now, the H.R.E. Foundation, not Hicks Real Estate,
H.R.E.
can continue to do the work in the neighborhood, one house at a time, because each family is different. And this is the first time I've done a handicap accessible property. However, it's taught me so much about what they need, because I'm a Section 8 child. My mom was blind. So I had an idea of how Section 8 worked, but I didn't understand it from a construction perspective.
Right.
So I know what my mom needed growing up as a young man, being blind because of glaucoma. And then I have also 2 other family members that are blind. And so I understand the need for a handicap accessible. So I did this. I said, you know what? I know this is your prized possession, your home. I know you can't afford the home to be remodeled. And I said, okay, if I can't get you help from the city, if I don't have another rental property to put you in, I said, what's the best thing I can do for this situation? By the way, I then went and talked to my pastor to get advice. My pastor gave me some sound advice. And I had a conversation with their family. And then I had a conversation with their family again. Then I had a conversation with the community development directors of the city. And then I had a conversation with pretty much everybody I exhausted all my options. And when I found out that they don't have anywhere else to go, I said, there's a need in these communities. However, when I went to go get the paperwork for my properties, somebody already tried to condemn my properties.
Wow. That quick, huh?
That quick. Because they know it's uninhabitable. However, my houses don't look uninhabitable now. So then I said, this is what I'm going to do. I said, instead of me giving you $9,000, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you about this, and this is something I haven't even told a lot of people. I said, I can do more for you with $9,000 than you can imagine. Within 2 weeks, her whole living room was already done.
Yeah, I've been seeing the pictures.
Because I understand construction. That one house opened up a door for me to meet the mayor, for me to meet now the city council member, now to me to be having conversations with other people. And I'm not going to discuss everybody.
Right.
But there's a budget to continue development in that neighborhood.
And that's, and I had the conversation with my coworker. I was telling her the same thing. I'm like, that's the whole point of us having these city officials. We should be able to come to them, as voters, if you're the reason why you're in there to, discuss our concerns and our situations that's going on. Like you said, it's a budget for everything. I tell people all the time, in the city of Chicago, I always make an excuse about certain things, but I'm like, it's a budget for that. There's no way it should be a pothole this big in the middle of the street. There's no way our playgrounds are not trimmed, grass not cut, when there's a budget for it. Because then my question goes, where's the money going?
Now here's the reason behind that. See, in the African American community, we do a lot of talking. We don't do a lot of action.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
We don't apply action. We can get out there and protest all we want. But if we don't apply action, with the correct paperwork,
Right.
you won't get a part of the budget. But then the flip side is, where are your spiritual, godly morals at first, and your integrity and your values to get the job done correctly, to take care of people without robbing people and robbing the city. That's the problem.
And robbing your own neighborhood. Because I like, you also posted, which I tell these to the kids. I work with kids as well, elementary and high school. And you have posted negative people care more about the things that you do, and they would just rather watch you than help you. And that's such a strong statement, because that's so true. Like you said, we can do all the protesting, but if there's no action behind it, nothing will ever change.
Like, nobody even knows that I did a GoFundMe for that project. Not because I didn't have the money for the construction. It's the fact that I said, throw all of your furniture away from the 1970s. The 1970s.
Wow.
Why are you in here on furniture from the 1970s? 70s. They still had box TVs.
No. I haven't seen a box TV since college, maybe.
So I told them to throw it in the trash, and we gonna figure it out from there. But their crib is straight. The construction is taken care of. So when I post things like, "Hey, I need help, y'all, with buying furniture for a family that's really in need. I just need some support." However, now that I'm putting the work and the time in and the action, I now can work with the city to make her a Section 8 tenant. Because the house is in livable conditions.
Yep. Okay.
However, if I own one in the neighborhood and my next door neighbor, who doesn't look like us, owns 15 in the neighborhood, and I'm bringing luxury to the neighborhood and quality living, that means he controls the neighborhood.
Because he has 15 properties.
Which means he controls our school systems. He controls the property values of our neighborhood because he has 15 and I got one.
You got one. Makes sense. So
if we as African Americans don't come back and buy back our neighborhoods, remember I said $9,000.
If you get PPP loans, so
guess what? I didn't pay that dollar amount for that. We negotiated a way better deal, and I still left the house in her family's name.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
However, I did it to where the only way she would have to move is if my 5-year-old son and her 5-year-old grandson signs the deed. They can't make a decision until they're 18.
So it gives at least 13 more years.
But I can't do a 13-year lease.
Got you. That makes sense. I love a good loophole. I love a good loophole.
But the thing is, she has nowhere else to go. That's the big picture. Where are we sending our senior citizens at? That fought for us in the civil rights movement in Birmingham, Alabama, for me to even figure this out.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna buy her house for $9,000 and kick her out because I know how to make money. That doesn't make sense to me. However, everything I do for these neighborhoods, I continue to give back because I know these neighborhoods need help. However, I can't do it by myself.
Yeah. I saw you post that, and it makes sense because it's definitely gonna take more than one person.
Exactly. That's why I said one house at a time. I got a meeting this week with one of my city council members. Okay. Remember, this has only been 45 days.
It has, and I'm a witness to that. 45 days. Because I said, my gosh, he is really moving and grooving. But like you said, when you're passionate about something, there's no stopping you.
just yesterday, I had a conversation with Bill Bellamy, and it's crazy. This is probably off topic. I was in a restaurant eating for brunch because I was the furniture store is over there, and I normally, since nobody has donated to the GoFundMe, I've been looking at different intricate pieces to add to the house as we go to make sure I can fit in the budget. Because I'm not getting donations from the GoFundMe to buy her brand new furniture because I told her to throw it away. But I'm figuring out the budget as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the house is an older home, and every wall I tear down, I don't know what I'm getting into next.
Right.
So I gotta take it one room at a time with that project. So when I looked at it, I said, okay, Bill Mellamy's here. Everybody here don't look like us. And I said, do y'all know y'all got Bill Bellamy sitting right there? And they was like, yeah, you can't talk to him. I said, what?
Wow.
I said, what you mean I can't talk to him? We don't want to disturb our customers. I said, okay, now you know me. I went over there and explained the same thing I told you. And you know what he said? Forget them people, man. And he took me outside, and I said, I would rather not have a conversation in here with you. I'll let you eat your food. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm gonna have my team come get you before we leave so we can have a conversation outside.
Okay.
He sent his team over there to get me, went outside, took a picture, and he said, I love what you're doing. He said, if I could be of any assistance, I got you.
Mm-hmm. That's dope.
All because I explained the same thing I'm explaining to you, but I'm putting it into action.
Right. And not just talk.
Yes, they want to see action.
Mm-hmm. They want
so it's like we as African Americans, we got to stop talking. We got to start putting it into action. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe in charging Black people for information. Mm-hmm. I'm a resource. You're a resource. I'm a tool. You're a tool. We all have resources.
Right. Different skill sets, different talents, you know. So yeah.
Out of the 50 turkeys that I bought for Thanksgiving, I went back and got a plate.
Right.
And then when I posted crypto, that I bought crypto.com, mm-hmm. One of the houses of a Section 8 tenant, her grandson just graduated from college as a stockbroker.
Well, look at that.
And his grandmama said, yeah, he owns the house next door. He's a real estate investor. And they look like us.
And they look like us.
You want real estate? I said, yeah. He said, man, I'm a stockbroker. I took him next door, mm-hmm. Unlocked the door, showed him how to do real estate. And then he showed me how to do crypto and buy stock.
And buy stock.
All because mm-hmm. I bought his grandmama a turkey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we as Black people don't start communicating with each other.
Yes.
You're mm-hmm. never going to get successful. We have to love each other first and come back and take care of our own neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
We have to stick together. If we don't stick together, we're going to lose everything quickly. Remember, I have 4 different properties. In every neighborhood, they're either on Social Security or on Section 8. And I got 1. So imagine all the Section 8 tenants around for me. Mm-hmm. That means those folks are controlling our neighborhoods.
They're controlling our
which then controls our school systems.
Yep.
Which then when you look outside our neighborhoods, you look at payday loan places. You look at liquor stores. You look at bankruptcy lawyers. You look at
loan
corner
places.
Stores. Everything that you don't see Whole Foods in these neighborhoods.
Nope. You see a Save-A-Lot.
You see Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You see Walmart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. They're coming in our neighborhoods and buying cheap, and then not even offering us job interviews in the neighborhoods.
In the neighborhood that we live in.
One of the neighborhoods, the same neighborhood I have a property in. This is why I changed the foundation, because that was the question you asked me. Mm-hmm. I went and got a grid square of all the other properties in my neighborhood to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. There's 20 more properties available for me to buy. 20.
Wow.
For under $100,000.
Wow.
But guess what? Black folks live in them.
Mm.
And some of them are senior citizens.
Mm-mm.
And some of them are just Black folks who can't afford to do the repairs in their home.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just Black families that don't know how to get along, and grandma died and they don't know what to do with the property because don't nobody want to pay the taxes on it and don't nobody want to do the work.
Yep. And
so now that becomes another issue because Black families don't get along, which then means we need to have counseling for our families and not bicker and fight with each other when you're about to lose a property. When I know there's a big business coming across the street called Amazon.
Yes. Say it, brother. Absolutely.
But due to the lack of information, the lack of education, when folks buy our neighborhoods, they keep us, because they don't teach real estate in high school.
Nope.
They don't teach real estate in college.
Nope.
So my next door neighbor on the left of me didn't even know her house was delinquent on taxes.
Wow.
So I immediately, but she's 80-some years old.
So she wouldn't be able to, yeah.
She don't know how to use the internet.
Right, you're right.
So what I did was call the senior citizen director at the city and say, hey, I need the information to get her tax exempt status. The senior citizen director gave me the information, and I had the other I had my mama, I call her mama, walk the paperwork down there. And the next day we got her services to get her a ride down to the city to get her paperwork up to date. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm not going to go over there and try to rob from an 80-some-year-old woman because she don't know how to use the internet. That's not how we're supposed to be doing this. We need to come back and pay attention to our neighborhoods and also help our families. This bickering between the Black family has to stop.
Absolutely, I agree. Because that's what
we got to get along.
That's what we're gonna found. Absolutely. So what you got planned for the future with this foundation? What's your next, well, not your next move, but what's your next goal? I see that you are involving your kids at a young age. And like you said, they don't understand it now, but in the long run, that's where that generational wealth comes from. So, what's your plan down the line with this foundation?
Right now, honestly, I don't want to keep using my own personal funds to do the work. When I know that there's a budget from the city. I already have done the work.
You had a lot of work in 45 days.
So my plan is to have the conversation, keep the same team I have, take care of my people, and do it the right, honest, most godly way I can by being paid on a salary under a foundation. And focusing on the other properties that are disenfranchised, and I can keep the two separate. But the work is not gonna get done without my brain. So I'm the piece to this puzzle. But I have to lead. I have to have God leading me first in everything I do. Because I get calls a lot from people. Hey, I want to get down. But what's your life like with Christ first?
Yeah. Are you
what are your morals and values? I don't make moves based upon somebody flashing a check in my face.
Absolutely.
Make moves based upon integrity and values and morals. And that's why I'm going to stand on that. My Instagram name is Integrity is All You Have. If you don't have integrity, I can't do business with you.
Oh, wow.
However, the long-term goal is to continue the generational wealth, because I know the 5 to 10 year plan of the neighborhoods. If I buy a property, which I did, I bought 2 properties. One for $2,700, one for $5,700, and one of them is already being rented in 45 days.
In 45 days. And I'm a witness, brother. I'm a witness.
The other one I gave to my daughter for her birthday. That's less than $10,000.
Less than $10,000. And we spend that on clothes and shoes.
So we got to change our mindset and stop just buying Jordans out. And this is another thing. People don't even know that once you have a business, You can wear the same clothes as long as your logo's on there and write it off as a uniform.
Yeah, I actually learned that from a friend. I did. I actually learned that from a friend. So true. Because he was telling me that, like, you should get shirts made, so
I
yeah.
just like it. As long as your logo is on there.
Yep.
You can write it off. I don't care how many times I wear these jackets. I don't care.
Okay.
It's a business tax write-off. But if you don't understand business, it's just like going to McDonald's. If you're wearing a McDonald's shirt, you're wearing the same shirt.
Yep. Same uniform,
if
same hat.
Burger King, it's the same shirt, same hat.
Yep. No, you making sense. You making sense, most definitely. So, what advice can you give to like the younger generations? Because it's so hard to reach them because they so concerned with right now and keeping up with what I say the Joneses, with other people instead of focus on the goal that they trying to set for themselves.
What I would do is right now, not focus on the younger generation, focus on the middle school and high school generation, because the kids are going to be following up after them, and focus on the senior citizens because the senior citizens are the directors of those kids. Senior citizens meaning the directors of their children. And most of the people my age, between the ages of 35 to 50, are either on drugs, alcohol, or they did something with themselves.
Yeah, background.
Drugs, alcohol, or they actually went to college, or they just got a good job. But we're already the minority.
Yep.
So we have to focus on counseling first and healing, while also understanding business, legal. Like I said, we have to understand business first. Everything is not about making money. Sometimes you just got to understand and the information. We need to focus on understanding information and learning and opening up a book, because the phrase is, if you ever want to hide something from a what?
Yep. Give them a book. Put it in writing. Yep.
No, put it in a book.
Oh, well, that's who put in the book. Yep.
But we got to change that narrative first.
Yep. Because we don't like to read. Don't know why. I do. I enjoy it. But many people don't like to read. Even the instructions at the say you get a new TV or something, now you want to read the instructions and wonder why the TV not working properly because you didn't read.
Exactly.
There's instructions for a reason. Saying I have a friend who we collect guns and stuff like that, but it's like, dude, he's like, you read your manual? Absolutely, because that's the whole purpose of this manual, because guns function differently. So in order for me to function this gun properly, I need to know all the components in X, Y, and Z. What do you think? They wouldn't waste the paper or time if you didn't need instructions.
Yeah, and we also we have to understand generational wealth.
Yes,
we got to leave our children something, because remember, I own one house in one neighborhood, and my next door neighbor owns 15. And the guy who owns the gas station, who's Arabian, owns 10. And then now he owns the gas and the natural resource. And I own one.
And you own one. I get you. I definitely get you. So
in 4 different neighborhoods.
Yes. Oh man.
And they're not giving back turkeys, and they're not giving back coats and kicks. I promise you.
Yes, and I told my kids, I gave them a little lesson, like you mentioned the Arabs. Our dollars don't generate in our neighborhood. Once the dollars go in, it goes out. So that's the problem. But if it was black owned, if the gas station is black owned, the laundry is black owned, that dollar will recycle amongst our neighborhood. But it doesn't, because we have the Arabs who own the liquor store. We got this person owned, the gas station. This person owned the laundromat. It's not us, and they treat us like crap when we're making them rich.
Exactly.
So exactly. I definitely feel you on that. How can people reach you? I know are you still doing the coats and kits drive as well?
Yeah, I'm still doing that. If you know people that want to help support it, I know what it's like being bullied in middle school and high school. So go back to those neighborhoods and give them some fly gear. So that way, if their parents can't afford Christmas gifts because they want a PlayStation, at least they can go back with a fresh pair of kicks and some fresh coats
It's a fresh culture.
Because it's cold and it's winter. And now that I'm in a position where I can do it, I know what it feels like going back to school after Christmas when everybody want to see what you look like.
Yep.
However, I want to stimulate the mind and also show them how to do businesses, but also be fresh and not be bullied.
And not be bullied. I love it, brother.
Bullying is another situation we got to work on in the Black community as well.
Yes. Yeah, because that's getting serious. Especially last year, with so much suicide among our kids. And I'm just like, wow, this is getting out of control, because how I grew up, we ain't letting nobody push us around, but these kids, they don't understand that they so much into technology and this and that, they ain't trying to fight, and most bullies only doing that because they want what they don't have, basically.
Exactly.
And that's so sad. And then we have parents that could, like I said, I work at the schools, and you have parents that condone it. That's what pisses me off. You cool with your child bullying somebody, beating somebody up every day for what their parents work hard for? No, man, that's not right. That's not right.
My son comes and tells me everything. Daddy, he was doing this and doing that. She was making fun of me. Da 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 da. And I was like, Prince, tell her you don't care. Tell him you don't care. When I hear the same child's name come out my son's mouth more than once or twice or 3 times, then I need to make a phone call to the school.
Absolutely.
What is happening?
Yep. What's going on? Why aren't y'all handling this?
Exactly. Because he says the same names to me, and I make sure I'm involved, and they know exactly who I am.
I bet.
They know who I am.
I bet.
Yes. Okay. I don't play around when it comes to my children. Those are my 2. That's my legacy. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't do it right, then they are not. I don't want nobody else to lead my children. Those are my responsibilities.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Instagram integrity is all you have. Spelled out just the way it is. Twitter is Will_Hicks, and then Facebook is just William Hicks. And then there's more to come. It's only been 45 days, so I'm just.
I see you. I see you, brother. If nobody else see you, I see you. Got my what they say, the engine turning in my head. Like, okay, I see it. I always saw it, but to see somebody actually do it and put it in place, like, okay, this is not impossible.
And that's why this morning somebody said to me, "You're doing too much," and I said, "You're not doing anything."
Say that shit.
It's not arrogance. Because I would rather you just come and ask me to show you, and I would tell you, than for you to sit back and watch and judge.
And not do nothing.
Because you're not the one out here buying turkeys. I am. You're not the one out here showing kids how to build businesses. I am. Well, me and my team. I'm sorry, I can't take all the responsibility myself. You're not the one out here making sure the next door neighbor's house don't get taken by somebody because my name is number 76 on the list to buy the house across the street. And my name is number 96 on the list of the house next door to that. And black folks living there. And I'm number 96 and they're only on number 25. So if you out here not trying to help what I'm doing and you just watching and criticizing, and you're not really serious about what I'm doing, I'm actually saving people's lives by not letting them lose their properties in their most prized possession. You are. Yep. Property is a prized possession.
Yes, it is.
I don't care about bottles. I don't care about clothes. I don't care about this stuff. But if I can help my next door neighbor who's 80-something years old save her house, I'm with that. My next door neighbor across the street who was in the hospital because of pneumonia, I'm number 96 on the list to buy that property. And I didn't even know who he was until I asked the property owner, Mama. I asked, I said, who owns that house? And he pulled up one day and him and his family are fighting because they don't accept his sexuality because he wants to be homosexual. But now he has family trauma in his household because they don't want to accept him because he can't be a free thinker and live his own life. But you're going to lose your property because y'all can't come together because of counseling. And I'm number 96 on the list. So I'd rather just provide counseling services for that family and help them say, oh, work this out because y'all about to lose that.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmama and granddaddy who fought in the 50s and 40s.
Yep. Worked hard
to build. Actually, some of them built their own houses on my block.
Yep.
Like literally from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to lose your prized possession because y'all can't get along because of somebody's free thinking? No, that's not how we're supposed to work. I can get you a counselor.
Right.
This is not the hood. This is our community.
Yes, absolutely.
There's another property down the street. I just got put on the list for it, $2,700. I'm trying to put a basketball court there. I'm trying to put a garden there to give the senior citizens something to do.
Mm-hmm. That's
that
awesome.
way they're not sitting up in the house all day.
All day, yep.
So it's like, if you're not trying to do what I'm trying to do, don't. I don't got time for it. If you're not going to be positive and help push the narrative forward, you get blocked.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you up because I know you.
Nah, you good.
Man,
I like this. Your podcast is dope. I think you having conversation with people is a dope concept.
I appreciate it.
I don't like being asked questions. I just like having conversation.
Right, and I like to have conversations.
Yeah, I like this. This is a dope concept.
And getting more information out there because once again, you know more than I know because people ask this question all the time, and I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. Mm-hmm. Who else to ask except for somebody who's actually doing the work like yourself? And that's why I want to do this little segment, Black Excellence, because there's a lot of people out here doing it. We even got Inglewood Barbie. She does a lot of stuff with the homeless. Mm-hmm. We got another guy who just did a whole little basketball program that's free to keep the kids off the streets. We need to highlight that. I'm sick of seeing the shooting, the killing, the police. I'm sick of all that.
I promise you. I have properties in the worst neighborhoods in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. And I get the most respect from my neighborhoods. Why? Because I bought their grandmamas and granddaddies turkeys for Thanksgiving. And I go and talk to them and I speak to them and I put them on.
And treat them like human beings.
Exactly. And then when they want information, I show them the information. I can go to any neighborhood on my block and talk to the families, talk to the young boys on the block, the ones that out here walking around on the block with guns. Yeah, I talk to them.
Yeah.
And they respect me. You think I can't just pull up in the neighborhood like this with jewelry on and driving in a bed? Like, I can't do that in 4 different neighborhoods. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
However, they respect me because I started the same strategy as the military. You always start with the elders first, not with the kids. The elders. The elders run the neighborhood, not the mayor. I say a word of prayer before you leave?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
After we get done, don't hang up, okay?
Okay. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for putting us in our right mind. God, thank you for allowing us to connect today. God, we know that without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. Lord, continue to bless our neighborhoods. Continue to bless our people. Allow us to continue to work together. And we know that without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. In all that ways, acknowledge you, you will direct our path. Amen.
Amen. I appreciate that. And I receive that.
Amen.
For sure. Well, William, I really, really appreciate this, taking time to do this. I'm praying that people receive this message. Man, prayers to your foundation.
You did your job.
I did my job.
You sure did.
Once again, YouTube, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share this video, receive this information. We have to give back to us, true to us, love us, because nobody else will. So, on that note, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great one. Peace.